Winners win. I'm a winner. We're going to win.
You are Locked On Gators, your daily podcast on the Florida Gators. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Locked On Gators, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thanks for being Locked On Gators, your first listen of the day every day. We are available daily and free wherever the podcast and on YouTube. And man, the Florida Gators just wrapped up their introductory press conference with new head coach Jon Sumrall. And I'm going to be honest. He did a hell of a job, I think, convincing a lot of people, right? I think that there were a lot of people going into that were like, yeah, whatever, I'm going to watch it. But I think he did a good job of convincing a lot of people that he is not Billy Napier, especially with his winners win. I'm a winner. We're going to win, which isn't the first time that Jon Sumrall has said that, by the way. But I do think that for all of the people that were like, oh, yeah, he's just like Napier. You know, I saw people say he has a boring personality. That dude is a freaking psychopath. Like, I don't know. I've been trying to tell you guys since it started coming out that Florida was going to hire Jon Sumrall. I've been trying to tell you guys. He is a psycho. Like, you don't have to worry about the physicality of this team with him. You don't got to worry about that. Like, Jon Sumrall is a lunatic. And I love it. I'll make that clear. I love it. He's a lunatic. He's a psycho. You look in his eyes, it's kind of like, oh, he just might spaz out on you there. And so he's incredible, right? It's great. Words are awesome. We'll see what actually happens, right? Like we'll see what actually happens with this hiring process now. I do think that the purpose of this introductory press conference was kind of to like quell the doubts about him, right? Which also just the timeline of events has been on Friday. We found out, hey, Florida is not. He crashed out on you. How did he crash out on me? On Friday, it was like, hey, Florida's not getting lane. They're shifting towards Jon Sumrall. And the fan base just went straight down. And then, you know, he got hired and the fan base was equally mad and very, very unhappy with it. And from yesterday morning when he got hired, you know, I've seen the fan base on the timeline. They've started to find out who they're talking about, who they're seeing. And the energy has shifted, right? Which is very funny. And I hate that, like, people don't learn their lessons, but it would be great if people could stop commenting on things that they don't know what the hell they're talking about, right? Because the amount of people that I saw go, he's Billy 2.0. He's so much like him. I'll give you $1,000 if you can pull a clip of Billy going, winners win. I'm a winner. We're going to win. Right? Like, come on, man. Come on. Like, I don't. And look, here's the thing. My opinion of Jon Sumrall has not changed at all. Right? Like, it hasn't. It's just refreshing to see that for the Florida Gators. That's all it is. The opinion for me has not shifted. I still think he's a good football coach, been very open about that. I still think he's a psychopath, been very open about that. I still am going to reserve my actual judgment for what his coordinator hires look like. But as far as saying the right things, Jon Sumrall nailed it. More importantly, saying the right things in the right way, that's where he really nailed it. He did. Like that whole and look, like I know with Isaac Edelman from Florida Victorious, he had like the mistake of saying like 2009. What I think happened, by the way, there is I think he wrote 2004, but the 4 looked like a 9 because in 2004 Jon Sumrall was still in college, and so I think that Isaac Edelman, you know, said 2009, and the whole like Jon Sumrall being like drop the maybe because like I think that is stuff that like the fan base is just gonna eat up and love. But like that's what Jon Sumrall is. I am not blowing smoke when I tell you this man is a psycho. I love it. I do. That has been one of the things is like, I don't know if this is going to work out. I really don't. But I know that I don't worry about the physicality of this team anymore. I don't worry about the toughness of this team anymore. Right. Jon Sumrall is, first off, the head coach of the University of Florida. Secondly, he's a lunatic. He is. He's a lunatic. He's going to have these guys ready to go. I mean, his whole, I would have given the ball to Jaden Baugh 10 more times, which I think I know what that was. I think that was a little bit of a indirect pitch to get Jaden Baugh to come back, right? Yes, Duval T. I don't hire my friends. Here's the thing. If you've watched Jon Sumrall do interviews, press conferences, podcasts, whatever they may be, which, by the way, I know that I saw people going oh, yeah, he just wants to go do a podcast. Do you know the kind of brand recognition and name recognition you get from doing podcasts? You get put on social media clips and recruits see it and they get to kind of know a little bit about you. It's huge. But yes, the I don't hire my friends isn't even the winners win thing. The winners win. I'm a winner. We're going to win. I'm pretty sure he said that in his Tulane introductory press conference. I don't hire friends. Drop the maybe, cuz dude, Jon Sumrall is NCAA young boy. That's what he is. He's NCAA young boy and he's ours and I'm good with it. Honestly, we spent a lot of time during this coaching search talking about Lane Kiffin, and Jon Sumrall mentioned Lane Kiffin, right? But we spent a lot of time talking about Lane Kiffin and his fit and how his personality fits and all that. We need an arrogant coach. I'm pretty sure Jon Sumrall was about to drop an F-bomb during that press conference. Hell, just the way he talks makes me want to start cussing on shows. I won't do it, but I'm just saying. But yeah, I think the introductory press conference went about as well as it could. I don't think that this is, again, one of those things that we've talked about a lot before. Judging players and coaches and anything. No, I didn't. Judging players and coaches and everybody before you know anything about them is a good way to look like a jackass, right? And I think that a lot of people kind of made themselves look like jackasses when this hire was when we were told this hire was happening, right? I think a lot of people were pretty upset about it and pretty annoyed. And just go back to what we said here, right? What we said here was, he's a psycho. He's a good football coach. He really is. And I'm glad that people are starting to kind of look past the G5 thing, because they are. And that's still a reason. That's still a reason to be concerned, right? That's still a valid risk. Nothing has changed there. But if anybody can kind of quell those thoughts, can kind of quell he's Billy 2.0. It's drop the maybe because winners win. I'm a winner. We're going to win. It's all that stuff that he said is the great way to kind of just throw out the whole he's Billy 2.0. And what I've been trying to tell everybody, and I will still pose this question to you, for everybody that said he's Billy 2.0, outside of being from a G5 school in Louisiana, tell me how. Tell me how. I don't know how Metallica fan is saying he was a disaster. It was a fantastic press conference, right? It was a fantastic press conference. He knows what he has to do. And I do like that he was, honest. It was we're gonna win right away. That's our goal. We're gonna win right away, not the Billy Napier, this is gonna be a rebuild thing. I appreciate the honesty of saying, well, I mean, Metallica fan keeps saying that and then doesn't say anything. It's like one of those things, like Metallica fan one, you are absolutely feeding into exactly what I'm saying of saying things and then not being able to back them up. And that's great. Thank you for proving my point. I appreciate you doing that. Because that's what it is, right? Like people have said a whole bunch of things about negative things about Jon Sumrall. And again, my opinion has not changed, right? Do I think he's going to work? Hopefully. Do I know he's going to work? Do I know he's not? I don't know, right? I really don't. What I can tell you is that the Florida Gators hired a good football coach. Will he work here? I really don't know. I don't. he seems like he really does love just or appreciate Florida, right? But I do think that you hired a good football coach. He's going to be very dependent on his coordinator hires and his assistant coach hires. And that was always going to be a thing, right? We'll see what happens there. But I think for the press conference, I thought it was a win for him, honestly. And like, let me know if you disagree. I will say this. I thought it was a win for him because I do think that he helped maybe stop a lot of the doubts that some people were having about him. Anyone moving out of G5 will appreciate anywhere. One, that's not true. But two, I do think that there's a very valid reason to be excited about coming to Florida because Jon Sumrall said, we had options. We chose Florida. Like we had options. We chose Florida. He mentioned, when he was younger playing Florida and like how he was like, oh my God, this is awesome. How he was on the staff in 2021 in Kentucky that beat Florida. And he was like, holy crap, we just beat Florida. And look, he might be blowing smoke, right? He might be. But I don't know. I feel like what Metallica fan is saying, I get it. Like I understand your concerns. You're still in that phase of Florida Gators fandom where you're going to cry and piss yourself about it. And that's great. You're still in what most of the fan base was probably in yesterday, right? We'll see you in August, and you'll be all on board for Florida. We get it, because that's really what it is, right? Like that's all this was. Like this whole lashing out was always, and I think it was very clear. Weather the storm, and once people find out about Jon Sumrall, they'll like him. That's what we said here, right? Like once you find out about Jon Sumrall, you're gonna start liking him. You are. He's a difficult dude to not like. He's a psycho. He just seems like a badass, right? Like I'm cool with it. Like that's what I want. I want a psycho. I need someone that's gonna talk some and back it up, right? It's as simple as that. Like that's what I want in Florida. That's what we need. That's what we haven't had in a long time. Is someone that is, because he's a nice guy. That's the thing. You're talking about him being a nice guy. I'm talking about him being a badass. I'm talking about him going, yeah, winners win. I'm gonna win, or winners win. I'm a winner. We're gonna win. I'm talking about him going, drop the May because like in a press conference, that's crazy. I just want to throw that out there. Almost dropping an F-bomb. I'm very confident he almost dropped an F-bomb. I like the attitude. I think that's big. And I do think that it's big for quelling the fan base. Again, I want to make this abundantly clear as well. What he said in the press conference has not changed anything about how I feel. Jaden Baugh didn't meet him or was at the presser with the rest of the leaders and the players we want to keep. That's worrying. 4 or 5 players were there. I promise you they want to keep more than 4 or 5 players. Okay? I want to make that clear. Winning in G5 ain't winning in the SEC. Okay. Has he lost in the SEC? The answer is no. Right? The only thing you can operate on, and we'll get to an ad break in a second, but the only thing you can operate on is what he's done. And you can say that he hasn't won in the SEC. You can't say he's lost at the G5 level. You can't. You can say he hasn't done it, but like to say that he can't do it or to say he won't do it, all you're doing is showing your ass that you don't know what you're talking about. That's it. All you're doing. That's it. Like I've said, and then we'll hit to this ad break and we'll get to the chat more. My stance of Jon Sumrall did not change because of this press conference. Okay. That's not my stance. Does not change because of this press conference. My stance won't change because of a press conference. That being said, my stance was always he's a good coach, psycho, badass. That's it. Like that was my stance, right? That was my stance. Yeah, he said that his daughter can draw power, not yet counter. That's a little concerning. You got to learn counter there, especially different cons. But she'll get there. But I will also say this: I spoke to someone at Tulane that was talking about. I spoke to someone at Tulane that was talking about Jon Sumrall's family, and he said that, they said that. Basically, that she's a psycho. Like his daughter that knows how to draw power is a psycho. She will yell at refs, and that she is what is the exact phrase that we got? Sideline demon. That's what we got. Sideline demon is Jon Sumrall's daughter. So yeah, we'll see what that is. Honestly, like I said before, like what he said, what he did, what he presented was nothing new to me, right? It was nothing new to me. I do think it was a great public perception win for a lot of Florida Gators fans that were skeptical. I think he did a good job of maybe deflecting some of that doubt, or maybe just postponing it a little bit, buying himself a little bit of time to get a coordinator, to get this roster retained, to figure out what you're going to do with the portal. I think that's it, right? And I look forward to it. We'll talk with whatever you guys want to bring to the chat, whatever you want to say there. But it feels refreshing to have a psycho back at the helm for the University of Florida. We'll talk about it all when we get back with Locked On Gators. The World Cup is coming back to North America for the first time since 1994, and with 48 teams for the first time ever, it's going to be massive. But let's be honest, getting tickets, usually the hardest part, right? That's why the Game Time app is clutch, finally giving fans a real advantage when it comes to snagging seats. With Game Time, you can track price drops in real time, get alerts when great seats open, and buy tickets the moment they hit the app. It puts the power back in your hands and makes going to the World Cup realistic instead of impossible. Take the guesswork out of buying World Cup tickets and every match, concert, or event with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, download the app, make an account, use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Download Game Time today. And gift giving, shopping, difficult at times, right? Not when you already know the perfect gift. And Omaha Steaks makes it almost too simple. Whether you're treating yourself this season or sending something memorable to family and friends, Omaha Steaks delivers handcrafted perfection right to their door. And this week's the best time to jump in because their cyber sale is here and the deals are huge. Save big on unforgettable gifts with Omaha Steaks. Visit omahasteaks.com for 50% off site-wide and an extra 20% off select favorites during their cyber sale. And for an additional $35 off, use promo code COLLEGE at checkout. That's Omaha Steaks, promo code COLLEGE. Terms apply, and see site for details. Thanks again for making Locked On Gators your first listen of the day every day. We are available daily and free. If you listen to the podcast, sorry, I was reading the chat and got all fumbled up there. But yeah, Jon Sumrall's introductory press conference, again, I thought went as well as it could. I don't think that it should change your mind on him, really, unless you didn't know about him. If you did know about him, that was what you kind of expected to see, right? It's fun to get the quotes. It is. If you didn't know about him and if you are in this live chat and you didn't know about Jon Sumrall, I would love to know your opinion of him now. Again, because I feel like most of the people that disliked him or that disliked the hire was really, you dislike not getting Lane Kiffin and you're going to be mad no matter who it is. Because as far as coaching candidates go, Jon Sumrall's a damn good one. He is. There's a reason that every SEC job that might have been opened wanted him, right? Florida, Auburn thought they were getting him until Florida came in. Ole Miss thought they were going to be able to get him even after Florida came in. LSU was going to go after him if they didn't get Lane. I think Arkansas didn't. Kentucky opened up last night. Their fans are pissed they didn't get him. Sumrall's a dude, right? He's a dude. That's it. That's really all it comes down to is that he's a psycho. I love it. You just got to get the coordinators right. That's it. It's refreshing to have a coach that understands SEC rivalries, that is passionate and emotional about winning football games. I want Florida to be the most feared defense in the country. Again, he knows how to talk, right? I do think that in terms of, and I will say, the attitude is a fit. It is. The attitude's a fit. He's maybe the first one with that kind of attitude on the defensive side of the ball, that kind of entertainment on the defensive side of the ball. So I'm really interested to see that. But he was very open, He's like, hey, we're going to be a great defensive team, but don't get it twisted. We want to put up points. He's like, we want to lie to the scoreboard still. So I'm looking forward to that, right? We'll see what happens with coordinator. If it's Cade Bell, if it's Buster Faulkner, those two would be the top of my list. I'd be really into that. Colin Klein, although I don't think it happens. I'd be there. Metallica fan 1 saying he convinced no one, as everybody else is like, no, he convinced us. And this person's still just like, no, he's not. No, he didn't. Maybe didn't convince you. But if you think that other people weren't convinced by it, then guess what? You are an idiot. Only way to get it. Dumb. That's all I can say. I think he has not convinced you, but read the chat. He's convinced a lot of people. Exactly, Kenneth Brown. It would be hilarious if next year's daughter starts acting like the daughter from the Titans. 100% on board. Let's go JS. He reminds me of Dan Campbell. Now we ignore Met One, a Miami fan. He convinced me. Any thoughts on Brian Daboll as OC? I think Brian Daboll is a fantastic offensive mind. If he was someone that they took a swing at on offensive coordinator, I'd be thrilled with it. And I know that like people think because I'm a New York Giants fan as well, that I wouldn't want Brian Daboll with the Florida Gators. I'm good with it. Honestly, I think Daboll's still a hell of an offensive mind. I just don't think he's head coach material. So if you want to be an OC, come on down, buddy. I'm good with it. He's been an OC on successful teams before. Yeah, come on down. You do it. I'm fine with it. I have no problems with Brian Daboll as an OC. As a head coach, a lot of issues. Another 3 year and out. Hopefully we can save up until then to get Dan Lanning. Oh, Metallica proving that he's talking about things he knows nothing about. Interesting. Hate it had to be you, man, but showed your ass a lot in this one. I want Florida to be the most feared defense in the country is what got me. To me, that is the legacy of Florida, hard-hitting and feared defense. Isn't it funny how everyone always goes, well, like when Florida was at their best, what were they known for? And you can kind of just go, well, offense and defense, right? Like Florida, when Florida was at their best, they were known for a great defense and high-flying offense, high-scoring offense, right? And so, like, I know Florida more as, like, high-scoring offense, but elite defense, like, when I was growing up, and I think of them as the best. I was too young for the Spurrier days, so don't know that, but, yeah. I can't say that one from experience, right? That was more high-flying offense, but the Meyer days, high-flying offense, elite defense, hell yeah, give it to me. Let's go. He'll be fine if he gets the coordinators right. Yep. I like Tennessee's OC. Here's my thing. The Tennessee OC is not a full-time play caller. That concerns me. That's a very big concern for me. That's one of my things where I'm like, maybe not. Like Sumrall, you're really dependent on your offensive coordinator hire. Maybe don't hire someone that's never done it before full-time. I think that's important to acknowledge. Like the boldness, heard rumors of him going to Auburn, Ole Miss, and Kentucky. Yep. The era of unproven coaching is gone. It's the dawn of coaching during NIL. Here's the thing. You want to know how you're factually wrong? The era of unproven coaching is gone. Look at all the Power 4 hires that have happened. None of them have really been proven coaches other than James Franklin. The SEC hired 3 coaches yesterday that were all in the group of 5. Oklahoma State hired a group of 5 coach. Stanford hired someone that's never been a head coach before. It is the era of unproven coaching because teams are taking swings on unproven coaches, investing in assistant coaches and NIL, and taking that. That's it. So to say the era of unproven coaching is gone, oh, no. You're just further proving you have no idea what you're talking about. The era of unproven coaching is here. That's what it is. That's what we're in right now. Yeah, Duval, that's a great approach. You know, like I liked what he said, but he has to back it up. That's it. On board, let's go, Coach Brandon. He's a dog. I'm telling you, he's a dog. Telling you. Everything he said to reporters are straight from the dome and nothing scripted. Maybe. A psycho as CT as a head coach, LFG. His honesty was great. I like how he brought up Tulane's deficiencies and how they got poached and their weight room was shit. That's the thing. Like that's why I think what Sumrall has done to this point in his career has been impressive. Because every year his teams have gotten poached and he's still won and been successful. I know it was at the group of 5 level. That's a reason to be concerned, right? But like, if it doesn't convince you that he's a damn good football coach that poached every year and still wins, then I don't know what's going to convince you. I really don't. Like that kind of energy and like that kind of assumption of like, oh, like that's not impressive. All that tells me is that even if he does win games, you're still going to be a sourpuss about it. Stop being a punk ass. Like if you want to support the team, support the team. If you don't want to support the team, don't support the team. But I'll tell you what, if you're just coming here and throwing a fit and going, G5, I don't like it, then shut down, pipsqueak, pipe down. I don't want to hear it. I don't give a damn. I really don't care if you go, oh, well, G5, wham, just shut the hell up, dude. No one cares about it, and no one cares about you if that's how you feel. Like I'm fine with people like pushing that, oh, I don't like the hire, or pushing whatever you want to push. That's fine. Have some kind of, first off, have a spine about it. Second, have some kind of sense of what you're actually talking about, because I'm still waiting for someone to tell me outside of G5 from the state of Louisiana how he's similar to Billy Napier, and no one can give me an answer. And I think even fewer people can give me an answer after the presser, right? Yeah, thought so. So there's that. But also, like, he's your coach. Get over it. Contract signed. He's been introduced. Get over it. If you don't want to support, then get out. That's fine. That's fine. I'm not going to blame you. If you don't want to support, if you don't want to be a fan of the team anymore because of this, then go ahead, do it. Does not matter. But I'll tell you this. All I'm saying is you do whatever you want. Nobody gives a damn that you're crying and pissing yourself in the chat section, right? Like, no one cares. And I'll tell you what, I feel spiffy now that we got now that we got a coach with the attitude, right? Now that we got the coach this year and he's like, hey, this, let's bang it out. Like, I'm here for it. I got no problem saying it. Like, again, still need to see the coordinator hires before I really decide if it's a good hire or not. But again, I know he's a good football coach. That's never been a question. Go back to the day Billy Napier was fired. Do it. Go back to the day Billy Napier was fired. We went live on this show and we talked about Jon Sumrall. And I said Jon Sumrall would be on my list. He would. That's why it's easy for me to go, hell yeah, I'm all in on him. It's easy for me to say that. He was on my list from jump. He wouldn't have been my hire. No problem saying that. He wouldn't have been my hire. He wouldn't have been one of my top hires. But he was on my list that I'd be cool with and that I would appreciate and that I'd be fine with. Lincoln Riley wasn't on the list. James Franklin was at the very bottom of the list. Like, James Franklin would have been below Jon Sumrall. I've said that publicly multiple times. I don't know if Jon Sumrall is going to work out, right? But I do think that for a lot of Florida Gators fans, I appreciate those of you that are starting to recognize you have a good football coach. Will he work out in the SEC? That remains to be seen, right? Because that, again, is going to become largely dependent on who you know and how they do. But as far as just straight up, is he a good football coach? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. No doubt about it for me. I'm not saying take the over on wins next year. I'm not saying any of that. But I am saying, as far as, do you have a good football coach in Gainesville? Mm-hmm. Yep. There's negatives about him. There are. And there's risks about him. Don't get that twisted. Right? He's defensive minded. That's a risk on its own. He's coming from the G5. That's a risk. It's all risks, right? But he's a damn good football coach. I'm good with him. I really am. Like I said, he's on my list from jump. No problems with it. Jon Sumrall, head coach of the Florida Gators. Winners win. I'm a winner. We're going to win. We got that going for us. Thanks for making Locked On Gators your first listen of the day, every day. We're going to be joined by Hayden Hansen tomorrow for maybe the last time we'll ever have him on the show. It's been 4 years. It's been awesome. I'll tell you this right now. If he's a Gator next year, I have every intention of having him back. If he's in the league, he's in the league. If it's portal, it's portal. Whatever he's going to do is what he's going to do. But he'll be back tomorrow for maybe the last time ever. Looking forward to it. Thanks for making Locked On Gators your first listen of the day. Every day we are available daily and free every single podcast and on YouTube. And I will see you all next time.